Hi, my name is Mary Picarazzi. Me gusta, weather, West Wing, and e-learning.
Alrighty. Welcome everybody to the Me Gusta podcast. My name is Jake Reese. I am your host. Today with me I have Mary Picarazzi. How's it going, Mary?
It's good.
You having a good day, buddy?
I'm having a great day. It's
Awesome.
phenomenal now.
Awesome. So why don't you tell the folks where they can find you at online, your socials.
My social?
Yeah.
So my social security number is... you can find me easily at picacomedy.com. That's my company. You find all my social medias on there, which is at M.A. Picarazzi. Picacomedy.com is so much easier than spelling out my last name, so I just make it simple.
When I heard Pica Kami, I didn't think about your last name. So
I have Pica because Pica means spicy, which is part of my Latina roots, and then Picarazzi is also the first part of Picarazzi.
Okay. No,
I found that most people have a hard time spelling my name, so just make it easier.
Well, yeah, there's like 6 Z's in it, so
Yeah,
that's
25. Get it right. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So comedian and aspiring actress.
Actor, yeah, I do acting and voiceover work outside out of LA. Do some stuff locally. Like I'm trying. At some point, something's gonna hit.
Yeah, voice acting is something that I've thought about getting into. I know some people who have done it, and it seems like a lot of fun.
It's super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a blast. I have a home studio, so it makes it easier. I haven't booked anything super big, but I love doing it and trying.
Yeah, I know someone who did like a McDonald's commercial. That was
Justin
cool.
Timberlake?
No, it was like I don't know, it was like a regional thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, the point of this podcast is that we talk about things that you like. And so, what was your first topic for today?
One of the things. So this is outside of comedy and family and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
all that
whatever you
stuff
want to
is
talk
assumed.
about.
Okay. I don't know if I should say. I'm going to say this. I am obsessed with West Wing.
Okay. I have literally not seen. I've maybe seen like a clip of an episode. I've never seen an episode.
I have watched the entire series, which is 8 seasons, multiple times in a year. I have a problem.
And
I have a problem.
I feel like this is like a really old TV show.
Okay,
like,
first of all,
I mean,
it's not
like,
that old. Okay, first off.
Okay, so when did it first air?
I don't know the dates. Like I wasn't part of the production crew. No, but it aired like early 2000s.
If it's been off the air more than 15 years, that's an old TV show.
Okay, really? Is that the limit?
I think so.
Yikes. Okay. Then it's a very old TV show. I put episode 1. They have beepers.
Oh shit.
And then you can see the phones to the Blackberries.
We have a very, very young demographic here at the Me Gusta podcast, so you have to explain what a beeper is to my audience,
please.
First of
all. I think everybody here on your podcast knows what a beeper is.
You don't know?
Well,
listen, all 6 of my listeners,
because they're all doctors. That's why. Okay. They're all doctors.
Oh, okay, yes.
Why do doctors still have beepers? Don't you think that's weird? Like we have all this.
Still have beepers?
Yes.
I haven't been in a hospital.
It's a foolproof way of getting a hold of a doctor is through a beeper. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
I think that's hilarious.
Well, I guess you can't really ignore a beeper. I mean,
drug dealers and doctors, same method of communication, most effective.
I don't know where to find a beeper. Where would you buy one? You got to special order that.
Do you remember where you used to have to go get them crystallized when you first initiated a beeper?
I don't. I was too young to actually, like, when I started, like, old enough to have devices like that, like, cell phones were pretty accessible.
Oh my God, whatever.
Anyway,
I remember when I got my first beeper and it was purple and we had to go get it crystallized. I think that's what the term is. And to like turn it on or do some magic to make it work. And it was phenomenal. Like I thought I was the shit. Should we just talk about beepers the rest of the time? Let's do it.
Do you just want to embarrass yourself?
No, it's part of a moment in time for me, and I remember it very clearly. I was 16, 17 at the time, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. I have a beeper.
And how many beeps did you get a day?
When I was getting it, I got the beep because I was working when I was working, I would call my parents and they would text me or beep me rather to tell me when they were there to pick me up that they were my ride. And then I had some friends that would have it, but it wasn't like, and we had like these codes and stuff. You remember?
Like the reason I asked, because I want to know, like, was it worth it you having a beeper? Like, did you really need one at 16 or 17?
I did.
Like, you're pushing weight? Like, like you said, drug dealers and doctors. What did you need
Nowadays,
it
it's drug dealers and doctors. At that point, it was a necessity, and it was also a cool factor because I needed to know, if people were here to pick me up, because I did not have a car.
Do you want to know, like, the first time, like, I mean, of course I knew beepers existed, but, like, I never had one. I didn't,
They're not dinosaurs. I knew they existed.
I'm just saying, but, like, I didn't really think about, like, beepers and using them until I saw The Wire, and, like, drug dealers use beepers in there. And I was like, oh, like that's like okay, now I get
First
it to practical use.
Phenomenal show.
But we're talking about the West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more about before we start getting onto The Wire. We'll do that on a special episode. The West Wing, though. Yeah. So I did do a little bit of research. So yeah, just
this
a little
is a research podcast. What?
I just Googled it on the way here while I was driving. Pat's gonna love that. So it's show about a president or like the cabinet of the president or people who work for the president. Tell me.
It's the first line in Wikipedia. Get it right. No,
okay.
I wrote it. No, so it's an Aaron Sorkin show, which all Aaron Sorkin shows are very heavy dialogue. There's a lot of fast pacedness to it. Mm-hmm. He also did like Sports Night. I don't know if you ever saw that. That was a great show. But it's always like walking, talking, and it's a constant movement. The flow of the shows just are very fast paced. I have ADHD. My brain works fast, so this actually completely lines up. So it's a campaign that just got elected president, and you're going through their first 4 years in office, and then they try to get reelected, and then the next 4 years in office, mm-hmm. and everything that ensues. And I'm not even super into like politics or anything. I just like the interpersonal of how that group works, right? Like mm-hmm. these are people trying to be their best persons while they're representing the people, and it's kind of like what you wish that our actual government did. Mm-hmm. Whenever there's something really bad that goes on, regardless of who the president is, I'm always like, where is President Bartlett when I need him? Which is the president of the show. And I'm like, yes, that's the president I want to work for. The guy that just knows all this information, the guy that's charismatic, who has human flaws. Like the characters are so well thought out that you feel like you're part of that group. Like it's so well written.
So is it more centered around the president himself, or is it more about the people around him and how he interacts with them, or is he the main character?
Yeah, the president's the main character with senior staff. So you got your chief of staff, you've got your press secretary, you've got your communications director, you got all those the top 5 or 6 people, right?
Okay.
And then how things happen. How do they overcome what happens? How do they overcome the president lying to them about something?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, I don't want to give it away. Spoiler alert. I'm sure.
Again, 15 years off the air.
You know what? Someone's going to be inspired to watch it after this, and you're welcome. You're welcome.
I hope so. I hope someone's inspired to watch it.
Yeah, why not?
And that's the whole point, is to get people to know about it.
I thoroughly love the show, and I am fortunate to work from home right now, and I have to have something in the background because of my ADD. And that show I can have on, listen but not listen. Mm-hmm. Because I've watched it so many times that I'm good.
So is it more like a comfort show for you? Like, is it something that, like, if you're having a bad day, you put it on, or if it's like a rainy
just sort
day?
It's like putting on a nice sweater. It's like it's just something you're familiar with, and it's like I can't have too many new things happening at once. And of course, when you're at work, you've got random people messaging you, different fires to put out, and it kind of just puts me in the right headspace.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in that show?
Martin Sheen, not Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, that's wild.
I know, it's wild.
That'd have been wild. Him as the president, that'd be sick.
No, that's just real life. No, Martin Sheen is the president. I don't know. I know the character names. I don't know all the people that play all the real. I am submersed into the characters.
The only actor that I saw that I remember that reading about was in there was Bradley Whitford.
Bradley Whitford.
I fucking love that guy.
He's great. The press secretary is played by Allison Janney, I believe.
Okay.
Toby, I forgot. I know all these. I know the names, but I don't know the names.
So who's the president?
Is Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Yeah, Martin Sheen is President Bartlett. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's just the first term and then the second term.
Well, and during the second term, you're also dealing with the next election campaign, right? So it's like who the next president's going to be. So it kind of branches off, and you get to
okay.
see on each side, both Republican and Democrat, who the next front runner is going to be, and how does that work out? And it's a very tangled web of storylines that I thoroughly enjoy. It's a little bit more brainy, but I mean, I find interesting things with it every time I watch it.
So were there like spin-offs from The West Wing too, or
No.
I was about to say, dang, man.
It's a great
like-
show. It should have been spin-offs, but no, it's a great show. I mean, it has a nice completion to it at the end where you're like, okay, the story's done.
And that's always good. Like I there's so many TV shows that I've like gotten into, and like just didn't end well. Like I mean, there's so like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
I hate when people recommend a show and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
here's a show. It's one season. They got canceled. I'm like, then why am I watching the show? I'm not going to get invested in a storyline that's not going to go anywhere. Like I will not watch a show if it gets canceled.
yeah, someone like one time told me to watch is it Heroes, and was like, yeah, but just stop after season 2. And I was like, well, that doesn't like fill me with like
No.
confidence that I'm gonna like this show.
It got so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big Heroes person, and then they just sort of. It was not good. I don't know where they went with that. Like the writer strike happened. There was a lot of craziness that happened during that show.
So was there anything in The West Wing that like that kind of like that? Like you kind of like ugh, like you that almost lost you, or like some like jumping the shark kind of stuff?
No. It was a very consistent show. Aaron Sorkin is pays very close attention to. He does like all the President's Men, like very big into detail.
Yeah.
And the detail for me is what makes the show better. The more detail it has that you may not notice,
Yeah.
creates the world that makes you want to believe it and believe the characters, right? So it's like, oh, I am actually invested in what this press secretary thinks. I don't even know who our current press secretary is. I'll put it honest with you.
Yeah.
But the characters in the story and that interpersonal side of it and the flip of it, right? It was sort of like that not two-faced, but the two sides of a person. You have your public-facing person and then your private. And then kind of like we all have that. We all
Yeah.
have our public persona that everyone knows us. And then we have our moments of just fighting our own demons and figuring out, how am I going to get through the day?
Yeah.
So there's a very realness factor to it.
Yeah. Are there any like guests, like stars? Anybody that shows up on the show?
There's
That's
a ton, like Penn and
Yeah.
Teller on there at one point.
oh wow.
They actually burned the Constitution up.
What?
Yeah, it's part of a magic
Oh,
trick.
Penn and Teller.
Yeah. What do you think?
I thought you were just moving on. Like,
No,
yeah,
no,
and then
no,
they
no.
burn the Constitution up. Like, war ensues on the show. Like, oh, okay, now I gotta watch The West Wing.
No, there's a ton of like little characters that come up and you're like, oh, this person before they're big. Like Joshua Molina's in it, but he's been in a lot of Aaron Sorkin shows. Alan Alda shows up on there. Chandler, what's his name? What's his real name? From Friends.
Oh, Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, he's on there for a bit. It's a very interesting, like there's a lot of people. You're like, I know that person. I know that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as someone who is, trying to get into acting, and is that something that you could like that kind of show? Something you could see yourself doing at some point, like that drama type, not like not that you'd be
consistent-
president or anything,
Okay, well,
not in
first
this
of all,
country.
first of all, not with that attitude. No, I mean, as an actor, you're always looking for a steady gig and a show of any kind, a sitcom, please. Yes, of course I would want that. What actor would say no?
Well, I mean like that, like the drama type thing, because you are a stand-up comedian. So, is acting something that you're focused on for like comedy, or is it something that you're kind of open to different kinds of roles? Like, what is it that you're kind of pursuing for that?
See, the way I look at it is like as stand-up comedy being my main way I express myself, we're artists, and artists do not sit in one vein. Very rarely do you see an artist only do one thing. Even like a painter, they have different mediums that they'll use, right? It's the same thing. How else can you express? A lot of comedians do acting, do theater. I started in theater. So these are natural ways for an artist to express himself in different ways. And for me, whatever works, if I can get a job doing that, yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
Because that's another way for me as an artist to express myself, whether it may not be in telling ha-has, but if I'm able to have a great script and be a part of that, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So I did look up some West Wing trivia.
Oh, geez. Let's go. Let's
so
go. Am I
we're
going to
gonna-
embarrass myself? Let's do it.
I don't know. You did talk about how you've watched this
I have.
repeatedly.
This would be very embarrassing for me. Can we edit this out?
All right. So first question.
Okay.
In which year did The West Wing first air on American TV?
I just told you I didn't know that. I'm going to say 98.
You were close, 99.
Fuck. I mean, darn.
The next question, I do remember you've already said, and you were actually wrong. How many seasons of The West Wing
Am
are
I
there?
wrong? Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me think. Let me think.
You said 8.
I did
earlier.
say 8. Was that wrong?
Mm-hmm.
7.
Yep, 7.
Yeah, there you go.
Which branch of government is The West Wing set in? That's a dumb question.
The executive branch.
Okay. All right. Well, you did watch the show, so cool. Let's see.
I also did second grade social studies, so yes, thank you.
Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the deep stuff. Known to friends as Jed, what is President Bartlett's actual first name?
Jedediah.
Nope. You're close, though.
Hold on.
Definitely some old-timey Bible shit.
Hold on. Hold on. Jed.
Uh-huh.
Don't call me that. He only says it a couple of times. It's not Jedediah?
Nope.
What? Okay, I don't know what it is.
Josiah.
Ah, dang it, I did know
I told
that.
you were close.
Dang it, I did know that.
That was like super close.
Dang it.
All right. What state did President Bartlett represent as governor before becoming president?
Massachusetts.
Nope.
Shit.
Begins with New.
New England. So it's one. I knew it was one of the
New
first.
England's not a state.
It's not. Oh, yeah, sorry, it's not a state. New Hampshire.
Yes, New Hampshire.
Because he talks about his family coming over on the Mayflower and nonsense. So it's one of the original colonies.
What political party was President Bartlett a member of?
Democratic Party.
What college did President Bartlett attend?
He went to Notre Dame.
Okay, correct. Which world famous actor left the show after season 4 due to contract disputes?
Rob Lowe.
Correct.
He was a great character.
And a beautiful man. Rob Lowe could get it. The first episode features the president injuring himself doing what?
Riding a bicycle.
Riding a bicycle, but like
He falls off a bicycle, hits a tree.
What? That's the first episode?
Well, they're also introducing the concept of POTUS because the first text message that Rob Lowe's character gets says POTUS was injured. And then the prostitute he's sleeping with, which you find out later, she's like, your friend's got a funny name. He's like, it's not my friend. It's my boss. It's President of the United States. And then the theme music starts. Duh, duh, you know.
This first episode seems wild.
It is so good.
Wait, in the first episode,
the
president falls off his bike,
runs into a tree.
runs into a tree,
Yes.
and then his like press secretary gets a message about it, and the hooker that he's sleeping with, the sex worker that he's sleeping with.
He's not paying for her. He didn't know she didn't know he was a sex worker.
Okay.
So that's how they're introducing all the characters. Everyone gets a page and they're flashing to where they're at when they got the page. So the press secretary is working out at 5 a.m. trying to talk to a hot guy, and then she gets the page and she falls off the treadmill. And then you have Toby, which is the communications director. He's on a plane. And they're like, turn your phone off, sir, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, are you telling me that my phone's I bought from Radio Shack and take down this plane? And then they like, message from the cockpit. POTUS was injured in a bicycle accident. And he was like, okay, great. And that's how they start introducing all the characters. It's a phenomenal show. You have to listen to it. You have to watch it.
I will watch the first episode now. To be honest, I was probably not going to watch The West Wing.
It's so good.
But now that the
It's
first
so
episode
good.
features the president falling off his
There's
bike
pot
into
in
a
there.
tree,
There's pot in there. There's
and
pot
Rob Lowe with the
smoking.
sex worker,
Yeah.
which kind of real life. You know what I mean?
I mean, if anybody can get a sex worker without knowing they're a sex worker, it would be Rob Lowe.
It would be Rob
It
Lowe.
would be, yeah.
In season 2, 5 agents from the DEA are taken hostage in which country?
Oh, it's a South American country.
Uh-huh.
It's not Argentina. What is it?
Nope.
No, it's, hold on. I'm trying to think. Not. Like Ecuador?
Nope.
Dang it. Brazil? I'm just start naming a bunch of South American countries. I don't know.
How do you not?
I remember I'm seeing the whole thing where they're in the.
It's like the most famous South American country known for drugs.
Oh, Colombia.
Yeah.
Duh. What am I doing?
I feel like I could have guessed that one.
I'm under the wire. You know what? Let's edit that out.
Okay.
That's the worst.
All right, we're going to do 2 more.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
A world-renowned pianist is welcomed to the White House for a controversial solo performances. Which country are they from?
North Korea.
Yes.
He tries to defect. And he gives the President Bartlett a CD that says, I wish to defect. And it's all on the DL. And ultimately, they find out they cannot help him defect because they're having talks with North Korea behind closed doors. And they think it's the real thing. So they tell him no, he has to go back to North Korea. And then the day he goes back, North Korea talks fall apart because they didn't like the size of the flags on the table. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, now I might not watch it at all.
You know what? It gets... It's so good. It's so good.
Okay, maybe I'll still watch it. Let's see. I think I will. All right. In the final hours of his presidency, President Bartlett pardons Toby. Mm-hmm. But what was his crime?
Selling national defense secrets. I don't know what that crime equates to.
I mean, that's what the answer says leaking classified information.
Yeah,
but
classified. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he leaked the knowing that there was a special rocket that could go up to space.
I feel bad doing that to you because I feel like I have a horrible memory. Whenever a new season comes out, I have to watch the previously on.
Oh man!
Because I'm I love this show, but I don't remember.
I'm gonna get
a lot of what. And this show again is an old show. And you did. I think you did pretty well.
I knew Josiah. Why did I say Jedediah? I'm so dumb. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my West Wing badge.
No, I think, again, for how old the show is.
Okay. You need to stop saying the word old, first of all. Okay. It's a classic. Okay. Can we just go with that one?
I think you did pretty good. Good job, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I will at the very least,
okay,
I will watch the first episode.
It's good. It's good.
If nothing else but to see the president fall off his bike and hit a tree.
You never actually see it.
Ah, dang it. Okay.
It is talked about, and they're like, what happened? He's a klutz. I don't know what to tell you.
So it was like Joe Biden before Joe Biden.
Just that aspect. The rest of it is non-Joe Biden because he's very coherent, so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Joe Biden fell off a bike, right? Didn't he?
He did,
I think he did.
Or was that George W? No, W fell off something else.
No, the wagon.
That feels like something Biden would do.
I'm pretty sure he has fallen off a bike.
Yeah, we'll go with Biden.
Yeah. Awesome. So your next topic is going to be what? We're moving on from the West Wing. No more West Wing.
Moving West Wing. Okay. My second topic is you're going to make fun of this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm obsessed with the weather.
You know I'm going to make fun of you.
I really, 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 really wanted to be a meteorologist. But the school that I went to for my undergrad did not have a very well thought out meteorology degree, so I did not go that route. But I am obsessed with weather. Obsessed. I follow Bexar County Severe Weather on Twitter. If you don't follow them, you should. They're an amazing account. And I probably tweet back at them more than anybody else on my Twitterverse.
So is it like extreme weather events? Like, is that really what gets you into it? Like tornadoes and hurricanes?
No, it's all.
Or just the aspect of how we monitored it? Like,
I blame Twister. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
The old movie Twister? No, it's a fascinating to me how much we know about the weather, but we can't predict about it. So, I mean, you see these tornadoes that hit and people have minutes. It's like all this technology and all we can get is minutes from that. That's mind blowing to me. I like knowing what the weather's going to be because half the time it's going to dictate how I'm dressed. Am I going to be putting my hair up in a ponytail or am I going to take the time to straighten it? If it's raining, we're putting it up in a pony. We're not going to bother with it.
Yeah, the weather definitely plays a big factor on how I style my hair as well.
Well, San Antonio has weird weather too.
Texas in general.
I think San Antonio is a very big nexus of weirdness because the hot and cold variations in Central Texas is bizarre to me. It's very bizarre. I'm from Corpus originally, from the coast. That's very predictable. Hot, high humidity. Cold, high humidity. It didn't matter. You still had high humidity.
Hurricane.
Yeah, hurricane. Know how to prep. And I love looking at spaghetti models too for hurricanes. Oh, it's amazing.
So what is it about? I mean, what made you want to be a meteorologist? Like what? Like you said, as a kid, that's what you wanted to be. Like what?
Amongst other things, yes.
Was it like a someone like a meteorologist on the news that you like saw and like what?
No,
What really?
I was always fascinated because I'm definitely a STEM kid, very math, science based kid. I did when I was in third grade. I did get asked to do for Channel 5 KRIS. I did get asked to do a weather question, and so I kind of was a big deal with that. No, I just read a weather question, and then I remember Joe Gazin, which is like OG Corpus, was like, I believe she read that very well, and I was like, oh my god. Like I was like, my parents had recorded it on a VHS. Like it was very nice. That's neither here nor there. I just want to talk about that. That's the only accolade I have so far. So
That's
my
your
only credit. That's my only credit. If somebody has that video, please let me have it.
A credit is a credit. Your parents don't got the VHS anymore?
Who has VHS?
They didn't keep it? Your parents don't love you?
You know what? As we keep talking about what is old, how many VHSs do you have at your house, Mr. Reese?
I have a lot, actually. I collect VHSs.
I cannot.
I started collecting like the Disney like VHS movies for like my daughter.
Those are worth big money now.
Nah, not really.
They are. I can resell those on eBay for $80.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so I got some money.
I do a lot of resale on eBay. Let me help you with that. I'll take 10%, don't worry.
But so I mean, do you and like as far as in college, like you said, the school didn't have a good program.
Yeah.
Why was that such a big deterrent for you, though? I mean,
It didn't have a solid track. So me growing up and going to school was like, okay, I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to figure out how to make money. I got to figure out how to get the money coming and churning. We grew up low income. So it's like, how do we start making money off of this? And that's the mindset that I had going through school. What's the degree that can get me to make money? Got a math degree. Hashtag that does not make you money, just so you know. And then I was like, okay, I got a communications degree. I got a math and comm degree at the same time. And that opened quite a bit of doors, actually. But that's like that passion, that thing you like to do. Like, I just enjoy...
Yeah.
I enjoy looking up and looking at different models because really it's statistics when you look at it. It's a lot of math. It's super fun. Go into NOAA, the NOAA website, right, and go and look and see what's happening. What do the waters look like? We're hitting hurricane season. What do we look like? Where does the likely paths? I mean, all that stuff is fascinating to me. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, you said NOAA, and you're like like you mentioned like the Beatles, right? Like you know what I'm talking about. No, I don't.
You didn't know West Wing, so I didn't presume you were going to know NOAA.
What is NOAA?
NOAA is a National Oceanographer. You would ask me that. It's NOAA. It stands for something. Basically, it's like the head honcho of weather. They do all your weather alerts, all your hurricane alerts come from NOAA down to your weather people.
That's like a government agency, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. No, yeah. I watched
Oceanic, atmospheric something.
I watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he did a piece like a long time ago about the I guess it was about the weather, but about how like weather app companies all they do is take the data that's already free. And
some are better than others. There's a big internal weather battle about data, so that's actually a pretty big part, especially around data mining and data predictability, data analytics and statistics. There's a lot of internal squabble among the weather people, the weather folk, if you will.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big debate on who you get the weather from. And that's how I determine who I follow. There's a lot going on here.
So let's spin this. What are your top 5 like weather disaster movies?
Ooh, 5?
We'll do 3. Okay.
5? I don't even know if I have that many.
Really?
Twister's number 1 for me. Twister is my big one. Like that early on got me fascinated into science to begin with, and the predictability and lack of predictability. That really human factor of like, how can we come so far in one area and so little in another? And then you just see all the damage that it can cause from not knowing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, coming from a coastal town, you see the same damages with hurricanes. You have a hell of a lot more time than you do with a tornado, but still, that damage is just, it sits with you. When you come back to, after Harvey, you came back down to Rockport, Corpus, where it hit, and it's just like, it's just like a quietness that comes over you, and it's like wanting to help and do more.
Yeah, I remember going to Galveston after like a hurricane Like it was like when they were trying to rebuild and like build the tourism back up and stuff, and it was like a ghost town. Like I felt bad.
It's a lot because like so that's one of the things that kind of got me when Harvey hit because everybody was like Houston, Houston, Houston. Houston got it bad.
Yeah.
But the actual impact was Rockport, Texas. That
Yeah.
is actually where it made landfall. Houston got the bad end of horrible water. It was on the wet side of the hurricane. Rockport just got devastated. And
Yeah.
for a town that they played it up on the news like, oh, it's only a tourist town. No, it's not. It's actually people have livelihoods there. People
Yeah.
have high schools got taken out, schools got taken out, and there's one high school for Rockport. There's one middle school. Like there's not an abundance of avenues for them to go to. So it was pretty devastating to the town. They're still rebuilding so many years later, and it's some businesses just closed for good. And like that's it. We're not going to have that again.
Yeah.
So it really rocked a small economy as it is.
Yeah, a tourist town is still a town. I mean, there's still
People that live
people that
there.
have to. Yeah.
But the insinuation was always like, oh, it's just a tourist town. Like it's not
Yeah.
as bad. I'm like, I beg to differ. I have a lot of family that was impacted by that. So yeah.
So that's one movie. There's two others. Let me tell you mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So The Day After Tomorrow.
Never seen it.
Never seen Day After Tomorrow?
Mm-mm.
What? So
Looks
funny
too
story.
fakey.
Well, so I didn't like want to go see that movie. What happened was I was I think 15, and
Forever ago.
it was a while. It was a long time ago. And me and my brothers, we were trying to sneak in to go see Troy with
Oh.
Brad Pitt, and it was rated R. And so my older brother was old enough, like he could just buy his own ticket.
Yeah.
So he bought tickets for me and my little brother, and like the guy at the ticket counter is like, no, you guys can't come in. You got to go see a different movie. Like, and I was like, I had a mustache, like, you know what I mean? Like, how you? Yeah.
Dang.
I had like a full beard by the time I was like 16. Yeah.
I don't know, a Pancho Villa one or like.
Hey, listen, it was a mustache. That's all that mattered. Okay, it didn't matter how thick it was.
Pencil stash.
Yeah. So we bought tickets for Day After Tomorrow instead, and then we like tried to sneak into Troy.
Okay.
And dude walked in there, like into the Troy movie theater, and was like, "All right, you two, come on, get out of here." Yeah. But then we went and watched Day After Tomorrow. And I liked it. It was a good
And
movie.
was he getting paid more than minimum wage to care?
Probably not.
That's crazy.
No, this was Colleen, so I don't think anyone gets paid more than minimum
You know
wage
what?
there.
That's saying something.
Yeah. And then Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
Waterworld. I guess that's.
I mean,
is that
it's-
a weather movie?
Well, I mean, like the whole world gets taken over by
That
water.
terrifies me. So I can't swim. So that terrifies me.
I mean, it's not a good movie, but
They say
just
that,
like
but then they made $100 million ride at Disney for it. So they usually don't make rides for flops.
I just like the idea of like having to like live in water completely
False.
like that.
That gives me high anxiety. I do not swim. I do not like what's in the. If I can't see the bottom of the water, I'm not going in. Like I do not know. That would give me high anxiety.
You don't like you don't swim, or you don't know how to swim.
Is there a difference?
There is a difference. Like
Both?
I know how to
I
swim,
don't know
but
how
like
to
I
swim.
typically don't swim.
I do not know how to swim.
Wow.
I worked on a ferry for a
You
while.
lived like right near the ocean.
I worked on a ferry that went all inside.
What? And you don't know how to swim? That
I knew where the life jackets were. I knew how to float. We're good.
that seems very irresponsible.
Well, they shouldn't have hired me then.
No, for you, it seems irresponsible for you to not know how to swim and then decide to work on a ferry.
I was
Not only not know how to swim, but you're afraid of water.
not afraid. Have you seen the Gulf water? It's gross. Come on.
It is gross.
It's gross. It was sort of. It also comes back to I needed a job, and guess what? There was an opportunity. I can talk anybody to give me a job. Look, let's go. And that's what I did. I had a lot of jobs between 16 and 25. I had a whole kit and caboodle of jobs.
I think there's a lot of booking agents that would disagree with you.
Well, that's what my calendar says. That is accurate.
I can't talk shit. Okay. Wow. You know, that the weather topic was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Wow. I thought this was going to be boring.
Okay, I mean, I didn't say it wasn't boring. I said it was more interesting than I thought. Okay. And then, I actually am really excited about the last topic that you wanted to talk about. So I think we decided to call it e-learning, right?
We did.
So, you like watching videos on YouTube, I'm guessing.
I
It's
like
YouTube.
learning. I'll put it this way. I like learning. So this is something that for me, when the internet came along, when you are a minority and you don't have money, the internet's the most amazing thing. I mean, yes, it's got bad stuff. It's got stuff that goes to the nth degree, but it's also got the ability to level the playing field. So now it didn't matter if little Timmy was in the private school. I had access to everything in the entire world. I could learn anything I wanted to. I read classics. You know, you go all the way back to the Iliad. I was reading all this stuff, learning all this stuff. So now, like growing up and becoming more of an adult, I put that in quotations. Now it's like I feel empowered that I can learn. I learned how to put a backsplash in my kitchen solely from a video. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking the stickies. I'm talking about proper, doing the whole 9 steps. I'm like, I got this. Like, I feel like I can learn anything. And that's something my parents taught me growing up, too. It's like, you can learn anything from a book. I translate that now to the internet because not everything is on video form. And I'm a very visual learner. So if I watch somebody do something, pretty sure I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel pretty confident. I almost feel like I can do surgery. No, I'm just joking. Just kidding.
Love the confidence. That
No,
that is me though. Like I watch and see people do things, and I'm like, I could probably do that. Like if I really wanted to, like
I'm a big take apart, put things back together person, and I was like, I will put this VCR back together. I will put this remote back together.
I'm just a very overconfident, arrogant person. I'm not lying. Like I say things in the moment, and then later on, I'm like, okay, probably not.
So there's no follow through.
Like I watched Justin Governal's Naked and Afraid episode, and I was like, 21 days, I could do that.
No.
I could do it. And yeah, Sophia was saying, she's like,
No.
I love you, but no, not with your arthritis. There's no way that you could sleep on the ground for 21 days.
The
And I was like, maybe not, but 15 years ago I could have done it.
Oh my God. See, no.
That's how arrogant and overconfident I am about things. But it's because like I've like you said, like I've watched videos. I've learned how to like I know how to like I had to break into my own car once because I locked my keys in there and I didn't have no money for a pop lock or nothing. So I watched a video on how to like break into it, and it's surprisingly easy.
I've got depending on the make and model.
Depending on the make and model of the car.
On the make and model.
But you can search like how to break into a 2012 Toyota Camry, and it'll pull up how to do that. Why do you gotta give
my vehicle away? No. Just joking.
But like just about like any car.
Well, the thing is, but then I also go down the rabbit hole. Like, I don't have any reason to ever take apart a carburetor, but I've watched many videos on how to do it, and I'm like, oh, I feel confident I can put one back together. Like, I just enjoy having the knowledge at the top. You have so much knowledge at the tip of your fingers, and I think it's hilarious that mankind just is like porn. I'm like, really? You have all this available, like the libraries of Alexandria here. People would have killed for this back in the day, and you're like, porn. I'm like, oh my God. Like, there's just so much that really leveled the playing field for people who didn't have access to top schools. Even MIT. MIT's got tons of free classes online. I used to watch them during college because they had tons of math classes that I was taking that would walk through step by step by step. And now it's like I could sit at home in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I'm taking a class that's from MIT. Like I'm sitting there taking a class. Like, this is crazy. Like, the fact that all this is available is, to me, is absolutely still mind blowing. And it also, it empowers me as a woman to be able to. I don't need to rely. I'm also worried about getting snookered, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sorry.
Getting snookered. Again? Yeah, like getting taken
you said
advantage
it twice. That didn't make me understand it.
Taken advantage of. Like, if I have someone bamboozled, snookered. There you go. If I have somebody coming over,
say it a third time.
It's such a good word to say. Okay. You can't say it madly.
What?
Snookered. You can't say it upset.
I don't think you should say it at all. You said it 4 times now. Please don't let there be a
fit. I'm going to say it again. It's a great word. Hoodwinked, bamboozled. I don't want to get taken advantage of by, like, I had a guy come in to fix in the dishwasher. I looked at a video and I was like, whoa, that's a lot of work. Or I can pay a guy that's already covered under the warranty to come do it. And then he comes in and does it, and I'm watching, see what he does. And you know what? Same thing in the video. I'm like, okay, I feel confident that I'm not being hoodwinked. It's just, for me, it just gives me an extra sense of, I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to do it. Like, I know how to roof a building. Am I going to get up there now and roof? No. Have I done it before? Absolutely. Have I watched the video to do it? Absolutely. I'm good. changed out a toilet. I've done that before. Do I need to do it again? Probably never again. But I got that experience now, you know? Like, I do a lot of DIY in my house. Like, I love fixing things up. It drives my husband bonkers because I'm constantly like, okay, I want to do this. And he was like, what do I have to do? I said, nothing. He was like, perfect. Go and do it. It's great. So I'll come up with these crazy ideas that I want to do one day. And he's like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready to do it. Let's go do it.
I don't think I've ever like take like any like classes online, like in my like free like classes and stuff. But
Those are just stop and start when you want. Like, you don't have to, like, it's not like a class.
no, it's something I want to do. Like I definitely like there's classes on like graphic design and marketing like that stuff that are like skills like I need to learn and get better at, you know, for comedy. Or that I want to learn and get better at for comedy. Not that
I've watched a lot of animation because I'm starting to get into animation. And I have watched a ton of videos on how to get started solely because of YouTube. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
But like I've watched a lot of videos to do like learn like it's embarrassing like simple tasks that like I feel like I should have already.
What's
like,
a simple task?
Like how to tie a tie.
I've done that before.
Like that's how I learned how to tie a tie. Like,
see, but that's the thing. We should stop putting ourselves in that position. You didn't know, now you do. So therefore, it's like a check. It's like we're done. Like you learned something, you became better. I just posted something on my story about Kobe Bryant talking about at the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, did I do something better today? That's a new skill we learned. Like we shouldn't be putting down on ourselves like, oh, it's just such a simple. No, we learned something new we did not learn before. Therefore, we are better today. It's a good thing.
Listen, I'll talk about this with my therapist. Okay?
You know,
I'll really dig deep into
you
why.
You just did what? Just kidding.
That'd be $25.
First of all, I don't look at $25.
That's my copay.
Oh, okay.
I got good insurance.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so they're like little things like that, are like how to fix a toilet.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I want to do more things like classes and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a comedian it's called Kev on Stage. He has like a master class for like social media content and things like that he puts out.
Yep.
And that's something that I've been like thinking about like signing up for and going through. So it's pretty cool.
Like classes have this weird connotation sometimes, but like it's something that I think maybe Texas folks are not fully aware of. Like when you go New York, LA, almost every comic is in a class. Mm-hmm. Like it is a popular thing, and some agents require you to be in an acting class or a comedy class. They require that for representation. So it's like I don't understand why there's such a shy away around, you know, taking a class or learning something. It's like learn something you don't know.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's a skill. Mm-hmm. And like there's so many comedians that I think are like great writers, can't fucking tell a joke. Like just not great stage presence.
Rude. I'm sitting right in front of you. That is uncalled for.
No, you're the opposite. I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a joke. I don't think you're the opposite. But no, that's something they could use an acting class. Well, they could use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I used to recruit for an IT company, and I used to tell computer science kids. You know, I used to tell them all the time. It's like, guys, set yourself apart, and one of the biggest ways you can do that is take a class outside your major. Go take a communications class. Go take a theater class. I learned so much doing years of theater. Taking 1 year of theater has helped me teach math better because I learned how to just be more aware of where I'm at in my space, and then being able to share that confidence and exude that to your students is like it's something I say you can't teach, but you can. Like gives you a confidence that you don't normally have. Like I used to tell people in tech all the time, go take a communication class. Go learn some interpersonal communication. Learn how to speak to one another, and that will make you go so much farther than just staring blankly at a woman and not knowing what to say. If I had a dime.
Men are speechless around you? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say men. I said people are speechless around me.
Okay.
We're all inclusive here, okay?
Yeah, who you telling? Is there some things that you're wanting to learn right now? Is there something that you're like, man, like I want to get better at that, or I really want to learn this skill? Something that you're focused on in the future?
I'm always right now trying to learn. Right now, I'm working on voiceover. I'm working and taking classes out of Georgia with a voiceover coach there. Like, I am trying my best to do what I can to be better at my craft. At the end of the day, am I a better artist for what I'm doing? Yes or no? And if I'm not moving forward, then I have to reevaluate what I'm doing. I'm always reading. I'm always trying to figure out how to be better.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's having to apply it. You have to get out on stage. You have to go and, do the work. And that's something that a lot of comics are scared about, is doing the hard work and being patient, that it doesn't come overnight. It takes time, and you got to keep chipping away. And it's like a big rock that you're trying to make into a masterpiece. It's not going to become Michelangelo overnight.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
It's going to become something. And then you just have to be patient and understand how you learn, understand how you take in information, and then where you should be applying it.
Yeah. Something that I've been like in a real creative rut recently. Like, we talked about that the other day, and it sucks. Finding the time to do those things can be really hard. I got asked to do another play. And the rehearsal schedule and the show schedule, just I knew I couldn't commit to it, and that sucked because I wanted to do that again,
Yeah.
And so I want to keep acting. I want to find different things to do. So, I have to. I think the internet and the learning process is a great way to keep those creative juices flowing. So I've been focusing on learning my Spanish better, and just little leadership classes, just any kind of thing that kind of keep me doing things.
Whatever's keeping you moving forward.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, whether as a person, as a comic. I mean, some people also get so narrow-minded that if I'm not moving forward in comedy, I'm failing. It's like, no. You can also grow as a person. Heaven forbid, you grow as an individual.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too, right? I applaud you for being able to saying that's a mature thing to say, I really want to, but hey, I can't. I'm not going to force all this time out of nowhere. I have to pass.
Yeah.
I'm also a firm believer in things come at the right time and place when they're supposed to. If something's meant to be, it'll flow right in the. And I'm trying not to force things. I found early on in my career, if I force things, I just get more upset because it's not coming to me. Instead of just realizing, the opportunity will come when it's supposed to come.
Absolutely.
And it makes you a little less miserable, I'll put it that way. It doesn't make you less hungry because I want everything now, right?
Yeah.
But I have to trust, for me, I trust the universe knows to give me the opportunity at the right time when I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. I'll be ready for it.
Just
and I
like
just
that,
keep chipping away.
That video I sent you probably a month or two ago now about, I forget the comedian's name, the redheaded guy, about how he was doing those shows and it just seemed like he was just talking into the void of nothingness, and he just had to believe and trust in what he was doing to get to where he wanted to be.
That's exactly it. Yep.
So that's awesome. Is there anything in moving forward that any goals that you want to accomplish? I mean, I know we talked about what you want to learn and do, but is there anything with those things that you're trying to get to a point to where you want to be at?
I have a ton of goals right now. A lot of my goals. I encourage anybody who's artistic in any way. Always have your vision board. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but it truly gives you an idea. Every day I wake up and I look at my board. I'm like, all right, I'm moving towards that. For me, a lot of my goals are around writing. Just constantly refreshing. I'm so young in this journey that all I should be doing is writing. And because if I write, 100 pieces, 80 of that's going to be crap. But guess what? I've exercised that muscle. So for me, it's getting that writing muscle strong and trying so that way, as I get better through this journey, it won't take me as many iterations to become the joke that I want it to be, and because that's where it's at. When you're new, you go through 20, 30 iterations before the joke hits that, hey, it's finally starting to be funny now. And you tweak. If I can get good enough to where it takes me 10 iterations and then 5 iterations, then that's a whole nother level. Then you're cranking out material so fast.
Yeah.
So, that's where I'm at. A lot of my stuff is around writing and getting better and trying to improve.
Awesome. Well, thank Thanks, Mary. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me.
Thanks for
I'm not
having
gonna lie. When you said weather, I was like, man, this is gonna be a rough hour.
We'll just edit that whole spot out.
No, not at all. But yeah, do you have anything coming up you want to promote? Anything?
I have a couple of things. April 27th, I'll be at Laugh Out Loud with Dabo and Quasi and the rest of the Loud Pack guys. I'll be out there doing some spots on their shows. I'm also hosting the second annual Filipino Pacific Islander Festival, June 2nd and 3rd. That's going to be out at the Shirt Civic Center. It's going to be a ton of people. Last year we had about 1,200 people show up. It was amazing. You get to taste authentic Filipino Pacific Islander food. There's dancing. There's arts and crafts. It's a real good family event to come on out to. So I'm super. Those are my two big ones coming up.
Okay. And you also have your own podcast, right?
I do have me and my buddy Tanvir Aurora, who's my co-host. We do have Nobody Meet Somebody podcast where two comedians who are currently nobody try to meet somebody who is famous.
That's awesome.
That's our podcast.
Well, awesome. Thank you. And you can find me at the Lucky Duck every Monday night for the open mic comedy night, and Friday nights at the Blind Tiger. And I have no shows coming up, so book me if you're listening to this. I promise I'll be funny for at least 5 minutes, maybe 10. If you give me 15, I'll try for 15. Alrighty. That's rude. Listen, I will crush a guest spot, okay? Alrighty. No, thank you, Mary. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.